our hope is you take this episode seriously. This is a rallying cry. This is a challenge to everyone to look in the mirror, because everyone's doing AI now. So this is a relevant episode for everyone who's listening, yep, or everyone who will listen.
I actually believe a precursor to success is the opposite, is that you have to be a great teammate. You have to understand how to work with people. You have to understand how to diagnose a problem together, how to be shoulder to shoulder with somebody and solve a problem and figure out the impossible.
Entry music. Da, 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 da. It's the Bob and Josh Show.
It wouldn't be 2025 if we didn't talk about AI. So that's what we're doing today. Bob and I are a little fired up about AI. And actually, we're not fired up about AI. This is one of those situations, as is often true. AI is not the problem. It is the industry around AI and things that are being built and done and certifications around something that caused this to become a topic is the concept of an AI PM. So a product manager, an AI specific product manager. And I read about it on Substack somewhere. Somebody had a great post about what does that even mean? You know, and so that is one of those things where I wanted to talk about it with Bob because what I believe is that to be an effective user of AI technology, you have to be an effective partner and user in the real world. So you can't only be good at using AI without being really good at interacting with other humans. In fact, I actually believe it's easier to interact with other humans because there are those, moments of brilliance where I say something and it triggers Bob, and Bob comes up with something different, better. I don't know what. And without that conversation, we wouldn't have gotten there. Now, yes, you have moments like that with AI, but it's not the same, and you don't get that back and forth that lands you in the classic saying of two heads are better than one. So I believe two human heads are better than one, and I don't believe a human head and an AI head are better than a single human head. So that's where we're at today. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to see where it lands.
It's AI ramblings, Metacasters.
That's a very good. I think we have our title.
and we made maybe a two-part or a multi-part episode spread across. Josh, as you were talking, I had a thought, and I hope I didn't lose it, but I guess I'll start here and we'll see where it goes. I think there's a lot of mediocrity in the world, right? So there's mediocre leadership. We've talked. So I think we've talked
this is
over
not
the
new.
years.
If you've listened to us, this is not a shock. Yeah.
So mediocre agile, mediocre scrum mastery, mediocre product ownership, product management, mediocre leadership in the world. It's the nature of things. There's this curve, where there's folks that are terrible at it, and there's folks that are mediocre at it, which is okay, and then there's excellent folks at it. And I think that just that's probably been around for millennia, and it's okay. And there's a lot of mediocre folks. And then you bring this tool, and that's what AI is. You bring this tool into play that augments people, that augments them in their roles. It can augment the developer, it can augment the product owner, it can augment scrum masters, coaches. There's people who've created bots that are like coaching bots that are out there coaching in organizations. It's your first line of who do you call first? Not Bob or Josh. You call the bot and see what it has to do. And I think, I agree with you. I want to circle back quick. It is not an AI problem. Mm-hmm. And I think people have been misinterpreting me and other people, and they're like, oh, you're a curmudgeon, oh, you're a dinosaur, oh, you're not on board. No, I am not anti-tool. I'm anti-mediocre people using the tool to get lazier and thinking then that they can even get lazier, right? And defer to the tool rather than doing their job and getting more excellent in their job. So the trend is, I think, for folks to, what AI native product managers, I saw a post this morning talking about that, and you have to be relentlessly upgrading on the tool. But I don't hear anyone talking about, what am I learning? What conversations am I having with customers? Someone was talking about the AI having customer surveys and things like that, and that's great. That's fantastic. But there was no discussion. It was almost like I can go to. They didn't say it this way, but I can go to the freaking beach for a month.
Yeah,
And the AI is running and figuring out what we should build next. And I'm like, no. That's your job, and you're like abdicating. You're abdicating to the AI. And that's a that's a human problem, not an AI problem. And I see it. I see that all over the place, and it really challenges. Not everyone is doing that. I think the folks at the head of that curve, those folks that like the great scrum masters and the great product managers, they're not doing that. I think depending on where you're at on that curve, the great ones are looking at it as an augmentation device. How do I make myself better leveraging AI? And how do I make better products with that? But I think everyone else is looking at it as and I wrote this down, as an easy button.
mm-hmm.
I think the AI is an easy button. I wanted to stop there and see if you have any reactions.
Yeah, I felt that. I lived through that. So the previous 6 months, I forced myself to exclusively use Claude Code to build and launch a product. I would not allow myself to write a line of code. Why did I do that? As a fractional CTO, executive coach, advisor, things like that, I wanted to make sure that I really knew and understood how to use the tools and the difference that it made. And I was able to get a product launched, and I was proud of what I created. It took a lot of effort to steer and guide. But what I was uncomfortable with was when it was all said and done, I lost a little bit of confidence in my ability and skill to make changes to that product, because I had just said, AI, do it all. And whenever there's a problem, I would identify the problem, like, I need you to fix this. And I was not as confident as I have been in the past with other products that I've built to weigh in, make a quick change, and get things going. And that was uncomfortable. I didn't like it, and I would never build a product like that again. What that has educated me on is understanding the times and moments when AI can be very useful, but then the times and moments when I need to put the AI tool on a shelf and say, like, I got this. Because something that Bob and I were talking prior to this is I've got 25 years of experience, and these AI tools, everybody says, and I can validate it, to treat them like a junior dev, because they don't have the full context of everything that's going on. And there's a ton of studies out there that I can get into, but I was putting my experience, my knowledge, my intuition on a shelf, and that over time I felt it growing stale. And that was uncomfortable. So I can absolutely validate everything that Bob has been saying, because I lived through it. I went through it. I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to do that again. Like that is not comfortable. I am not confident in, if I wanted to turn that product into a business and expand upon that, I would not use that model of Josh working with Claude Code exclusively. That would be a bad plan.
Who owned that product? Back at that point, your confidence. Did you own it, or did Claude Code own it?
What do you mean by owning?
Own it.
Oh, me. Yeah.
Did you really own it? But then you would have. No, I think you abdicated ownership.
I don't think so.
I think you did.
Really?
I think yeah. If I own something, I have the confidence. If I own Mow in my yard.
I thought you meant like whose IP is it? But yeah,
no.
Owning it. Yeah. I got
No, I'm talking about who owns it.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, Claude Code.
Like right now, I pay for someone to mow my lawn. Yeah. I don't own it anymore. And
Right.
I'd be hard pressed to go out there. The one has gotten gnarlier over time, right? And so I'd be hard pressed to go out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I could, but I'd lack confidence
Yeah.
because I've given it up. So the difference is it's doing it for you versus it's doing it with you. So who's the lead? It's doing it for you, and you're taking a step back. Versus if you own it, Josh, then you're taking the lead.
Right.
Then Claude Code is just helper. It's a helper to you. It's that mindset, and I think that's part of it. So what I'm alluding to, what I'm alluding to is that's replaced mediocrity. I think you're abdicating ownership. I think you're abdicating accountability and responsibility for it. For example, I could see a product owner that gets a decision from AI and make some product level decisions, and if they go awry, whose fault is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could literally envision having a discussion as a CEO to a CPO, and there's almost this subtle thing of, well, I Claude told me to do this, or
Yeah.
ChatGPT gave me this guidance, and again, or I made a mistake, right? I made a mistake, and I need to self-correct on that.
And-
I wonder if that's a part of it.
And I hope everybody that's listening or watching reacts in the same way to what Bob just said. So, in a situation where you lean on a technology and it backfires, it blows up in your face. And so then your reaction is to blame the technology and not accepting responsibility. My instant reaction when Bob said, "Oh, it was the AI's fault," then my instant reaction as that CEO would be like, "Well, then why are you here? Like, why am I paying you? Like, I'm paying you and your expertise and your experience to help us make the right decisions. Why am I paying you however many hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this if you're not going to do it?"
Right.
But the danger of the AI PM or all the AI insert job role certifications that are out there really starts to drive us down that path. And I get really nervous about everybody that is saying and talking about you have to be an AI insert job role. That's a dangerous way to go, to say that's a precursor to success. I actually believe a precursor to success is the opposite, is that you have to be a great teammate. You have to understand how to work with people. You have to understand how to diagnose a problem together, how to be shoulder to shoulder with somebody and solve a problem and figure out the impossible. Yes, there's times where AI is going to help you maybe fill in some holes and plug in some gaps, but at the end of the day, whose job is it? It is your job. And so, I think you got to be great at working with humans before you have a chance to be good, not great, just good at working with an AI tool at all.
Yeah. Yes. And you got to be great in your skill. Like Josh glossed over earlier, I'll use him as I've got 20, 25 years of experience. I've got of software engineering experience across multiple stacks in multiple business domains. I understand how to shift those things. Then I've led people in those organizations, different teams building different products. So I have human skills, I have technical skills, I have judgment skills. I have just abdicated all of that to let AI tell me what to do. There's a well-roundedness. By the way, the other thing is Josh relentlessly learns things. So he's not static. He's learning. He's growing. He's making mistakes. And I love that. So now go back to that CEO. It's not even about the 200,000. I mean, it is. Trust me, it is.
Yeah.
I want to cross that off the spreadsheet if I can, as a CEO. But it's more than that. I'm paying him $300,000 for every brain cell, every bit of experience, every story he told in the interview. And now suddenly, what has he done? he's sitting there smoking a cigar, having a bourbon, and letting I'm exaggerating, but letting AI like do stuff for him. He's abdicating that, and he's not really weaving. He's sort of say taking a backseat to that, and that's doing everything a disservice. So human contact is a part of it, but all of that experiential stuff, I don't like, and he's going to erode that. It's going to rust. It will rust. So now, and yes, I'm paying him $300,000, and it's rusting on me. What the hell's going on here? Go ahead, John.
And I can assure you, if you take that hands-off approach, it will go off-road. It will be a disaster. I worked very hard to keep an eye and learn how to corral and constantly redirect Claude code so that it delivered a product that I expected. I was not a passive participant. I was very active. I had to stay tuned in because it was moving fast. It generates a lot of code. It does it pretty darn well, and it does it really fast. And if that starts to get offline, and then it starts to get, and then the next one is off more, the next one is off more, the next one is off more, it compounds the problem. So I worked my tail off. There was no passive approach to that. So if you want to end up in a situation where you can use AI, you can't be smoking a cigar. You got to be freaking locked in like potentially never before, because you are riding a runaway train. So if you want it to be useful, it's not easier. It's actually a little bit harder because it's just you and a screen and some text. And is everything happening the right way? As opposed to having a discussion with another human that's having a similar problem trying to figure out. And the number of times where I would talk to Claude Code and I'd say like, hey, the way you did that actually breaks the standards that we laid out. And its first response was always, and there's all these jokes and all the content I created about it. I was like, you're absolutely right. It always would start with like that. Well, if you know I'm absolutely right, why did you do it wrong the first time? You know, like, you don't need me to tell you. But to me, that is one of those things that's a difference between working with a human is Bob and I can be working together and we both recognize, oh, yeah, we can't make that mistake again. And we don't. But that AI made the same mistake over and over and over again, no matter how I trained it, no matter how many pieces of documentation I gave it, no matter how many times I said, don't do that again, it would still do it. So really good AI use is really hard and really time consuming.
One of the things, another story, Metacasters, is it's not a story. I mean, I've heard this. Some product owners, so agile product owners, and quite a few of them. There's actually, the Scrum Alliance has a AI for product owners class, a certification class that they spun up within the last year. Of course they did, because there's revenue. I mean, the only classes now, I hate to tell you, that are really selling are classes with AI in the title.
Yeah.
And most of those classes are like how to use AI, to be a product owner. And so one of the aspects of that is you can use AI to write stories for you, user stories for you. And it can develop quite competent user stories. And I've heard people, it's like, yo, I suck at story writing, or I hate story writing, or both of them, or it's the teams don't react well to my stories. And so they're chomping at the bit, these product owners. Again, think mediocre, think my curve. Right, because I don't think this is happening at those folks that understand story writing. They may not enjoy it, but they're good at it because it's a craft, because it's a skill, right? Because they had to master it to do their freaking job, right? You hear these people getting really perky about the AI is going to do that for me, and that's their goal, and that concerns me. Again, it goes back to the AI is not a collaborator. It's not a team member. You're deferring to it. What if I turn the power off? There's that old adage, like if I turn the power off or something, and you have to do something manually, can those product owners write a story to save their butt? And the answer is no, they can't. What if the AI goes away? And so again, AI is not the problem. Humans are the problem. Yes, get AI to write some of your stories, but bust your butt. Send yourself, read a book, send yourself. That's what I don't hear nowadays, Josh, so much. I hear everyone trying to learn how to operate AI to get lazier. I know that's obnoxiously stated, but I'm going to stay with it. To get lazier, and I don't hear anyone talking about what am I going to do learn in the interim, or how am I? Here's a freaking use case. How am I using the AI to help me write better stories? So now there's my team, right? There's AI behind me that's helping me, not doing it for me, but helping me to craft stories for my team so that I'm improving my human ability to do that. And I don't hear a lot of that. And we should. It's developing your human capacity, not to compete with it. It's not an AI problem. I want you to become a better, like, let's think about an entry level developer now that's using AI to develop code. They're developing no architectural skills, right? In 20 years, no one will say what Josh just said. In 25 years, I've architected systems. I've did this, I've done that. What are they going to say? In 25 years, AI has done all the work for me. Uh, and there goes back to, and I need you. Why?
Yeah.
You're here. Why? You have no skills, and my gosh, that's sad that you have not developed any personal skills yourself. Josh, I rambled there. Bring
No,
me back.
something that I want people to know is that what I learned is that people talk about getting good at prompting. You know what's really good at prompting? The AIs, because they
Yeah.
know what they need. And there have been many times when I got stuck and I asked another tool to help me craft a prompt. So if you're learning all these things to figure out how to get better at prompting, and that's the only thing that you're worried about, you're signing up for a role that is automatically has a ticking time bomb on it, because they're already AIs are good at knowing how to talk to themselves and how to talk to each other. So it is everything Bob has talked about is like use that to learn and grow, not to relax or to get more lazy or to do less. And because if you're using it just for that, things are going to get rough. Bad news. Things are going to get rough.
I've also heard to get faster. And I get, and the AI is going to make faster decision making, faster customer analysis, faster this, right? Speed. And there's truth to that. Again, not an AI problem. But if we want to go faster, then not only we're at the beach, now we go to a private island because we're even more abstracted from the decision making. Yeah, go to the private Necker Island with what is Sir Branson. You might as well go to Necker and just hang out. Don't expect a paycheck because, again, now, and I don't want it. There's going to be a mistake made there. Mistakes are going to be made there. We don't have that rich experience, human experience. So you better get out of the game because you're either going to become obsolete or you're going to get fired or both. And so that faster argument doesn't work. Again, it's make your decision making crisper, maybe nimbler, but not getting out of the loop. Now, what I'm talking about, that's what I see. At least 80% of the scenarios that I see are what I see and hear and talk to people about and have discussions and walk away shaking my little head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't know. They know not what they say is this view of abdication, and Metacasters don't do it.
Well, and so let's harken back to our agile roots here, and the number of times that I know Bob and I have been pressured, questioned, I don't know what, about I thought agile was going to make us faster. And agile was never about making us faster, because going faster was never the problem. Building things that matter, that really make a difference, that deliver value has been the problem of really understanding what that is. Those things Bob talked about actually talking to customers, really understanding how to address that core fundamental problem that they have, building a great piece of software that actually addresses that they get excited about. The speed of typing into an editor has never been the problem. A thing I always say is like, hey, devs are going to dev. They are going to write code. They're going to build product, and it's going to happen faster than you think. If you don't have clarity on what should be done, what should be built, and the difference that it's going to make for your customers, so much so that they're willing to give you money or more money than you're wasting effort and energy. So now AI has the potential to compound that problem by enabling you to ship more useless software to your customers, which causes them to become more and more frustrated. So think about all of that software bloat. Something that gets a lot of press here in the world that we live in is Jira. Is if we go back to what Jira was 15 years ago, when Bob and I first met, it was this big compared to what Jira is now. And the number of people that I see just complaining about Jira and what it has become and all of this bloat and everything. So now AI has the potential for a poorly led product strategy, product company to build more useless things and to frustrate their customers more. So you can fix that problem, which AI is not going to fix that problem. You're going to have to put your little thinking hat on. You're going to have to solve that. You're going to have to sit down with your customers and ask questions and be wrong and ask some more questions. Or you can look yourself in the mirror and be proud because you shipped more things. Not that your customers care about those things or wanted those things or even use those things, but you'll ship more. So you'll get a little green check mark because somebody said, oh, you did a thing, but nobody cares. It's not going to generate more revenue. It's not going to increase your NPS score or the value of your company or anything like that, but you shipped more. You ship stuff that doesn't matter. And so that's the most dangerous thing that I see out there.
I mean, I've talked, I think even in the Metacast a few times, I've done this publicly and written. I've talked about AI plus HI. So, again, artificial intelligence plus human intelligence. And to me, it's HI is slightly bigger than AI. And if I'm looking at it graphically, spatially, and what I mean by that is we don't want, AI is this augmentation. AI is this tool. AI is a partner. AI is a co-creator. But the human is on top. The human is the guide. What you're seeing, what I've seen is I've heard roughly like 80% of the AI adoptions in corporate America fail right now.
It's actually 95. MIT did a study.
Did they? I knew it was I was going safe ground.
Yeah.
So 95, and I think what's happening with those is the abdication effect. So it's the same thing that we're talking about with developers. You can see it in a microcosm with a developer and Claude Code. You can see it at a CEO level making a decision and saying we're going AI and doing it in a broad level. And in that case it's large AI and HI is very small. And in some cases it's really non-existent. And you're losing control of it. And the problem is not the damned AI. In those failure cases, it's bad. For example, in that case, it's bad leadership. Right? Imagine that. Human beings, leaders who are in great responsible positions are abdicating and failing with that. And the humans are failing. It's not the AI is failing. So you can see it at a corporate level. You can see it at a product. I see all these product folks doing it. You can see it at the developer level. And it's the balance that we have to strike. And I don't know if anyone is getting that. Everyone's triggering on, oh, you're just a dinosaur, and you're just an impediment, right? You're just ignoring it. You're sticking your head in the sand, and AI is the wave of the future. And then people talk to me about apples, and they talk to me about Agile, and they talk to me about other technology. Oh, it's just another curve. It's just another curve. It isn't. It isn't. It's a new curve. It's the first curve where we can actually do this thing where human beings can turn themselves off, right? And make that mistake and don't do it. Josh, what do you think?
It has been an interesting ride. So Bob has watched Josh go through this AI hype train where I adopted early. Bob mentioned some folks have built AI chatbots for Agile coaching. I did that 4 years ago, maybe. We transcribed every episode that we ever had, and we made like a Metacast chatbot where you could.
And it was interesting. It was kind of cool to interact with it.
Yeah, it took every word we ever said, which was like 26 days of us talking, and put it in there so that you could ask questions rather than trying to like search and find the right episode to answer the question you have. We thought it was interesting. It was cool. We were a little early, so people didn't really get into it. It was still kind of creepy to some people. And then I started using it to help me write. And as you evaluate my writing, there was a period where I relied on it heavily. And Bob challenged me. And Bob, did exactly what a friend should do. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like this, like, I can read like this. That's not really Josh, Like, yeah, I know, but it's working, and I'm churning stuff out, And so now I use AI to help unstick me when there's problems, or I need brainstorming, or I need ideas, but I don't let it be me. I don't let it replace me. And
let me stop you.
Yeah.
Let me stop you. Not only that, you've grown, my friend. You've grown. And I just thought of it, and I haven't said this to you. Right? So it helped you get over that hurdle, and your writing has grown.
Yeah.
The depth of your writing has grown. The creativity in the relevancy of your writing has grown. Right? And that's not abdication. So that's that right balance. I'm sorry to get excited, Josh, but you've developed.
Yeah.
It's the right balancing act between you. And at the beginning, you didn't have it, I don't think.
No,
at the very beginning.
No balance. Yeah.
But you've achieved that balance.
Yeah, because I think I had that moment that everybody has where like, this is amazing. Like I'm shipping stuff and there's words on a page and people are reading it. But Bob did a great job in calling me out. And I would go back and, inside my heart of hearts, I'd be like, oof, yeah, he's right. Like I read that and I'm like, what the hell does that actually mean? Those aren't my words. But it did the thing that I needed it to do. It helped me get over that hump. This is something that Bob and I have been talking about that I wanted to do for a long time. And without AI, I'm not sure I would have gotten to the point where I've published, I think the latest, I'm coming up on 100 weeks in a row. And it got me started. It got the ball rolling. And then I used it to learn and figure out what works for me and to help me when there were those weeks where I'm like, what the hell am I going to write about? I don't know what to do. And like, help me figure that out. And then it would give me that spark. And then I would be off and running. But it certainly has been a hype train where I realized, oh, wait a minute, I am losing parts. We talked, just like I mentioned with that product that I built where Claude Code did the work. I felt it. I felt my capabilities being reduced. I didn't like that. There are some people that might be okay with that. I am not comfortable with that at all. Right? Yeah.
Think curve, everyone. And in the future, you do not want to be part of the mediocre. So on that curve, you want to be to the right. Here's the curve. Watch your screen. You want to be to the right of this line, not to the left of that line. The left of that line is on the island, broke, and getting help from AI, weekly checks, minimal checks, and food stamps or something. To the right of that curve is you still have incredible value, and you're finding your balancing act. And that's where we're at the cusp of that right now, Josh. I really think, and there are folks, and they don't even know it. And I don't know if I even have the energy to talk to them about it. It's like they're just stuck there. They don't know that they're undermining, they're sort of taking the foundation away from themselves as skilled craftspeople. I wrote that earlier on my note page, is craft person, craft PM, craft PO, craft scrum master, craft developer, craft leader as craftsperson. We want to be masters of our craft. No plumber delegates to someone else, right? They'll use tools. They'll use tools to make them efficient. They'll use tools to grow their skills, but they're developing their personal skills. So maybe that's a metaphor to think about. We're losing our craftsmanship.
Yeah. Something that you mentioned about in 20 years, one of the things that we have now and that I believe Bob and I represent is that we are masters of our craft. And how do we continuously grow masters of the craft to continuously grow apprentices into future masters. There is a trajectory. There is a thing that happens, and it requires mastery, and that requires time and energy and effort and dedication. But what happens when there are no masters of those craft to develop future masters? And that's what we try and do with the content that we create. And it's scary that could go away without really fighting your tail off.
So this is an AI episode. I think we're landing it in one episode, the point, and I'm glad for that. Metacasters, we're at a crossroads, and it's not a joke. And so our hope is you take this episode seriously. This is a rallying cry. This is a challenge to everyone to look in the mirror, because everyone's doing AI now. So this is a relevant episode for everyone who's listening, or everyone who will listen. But look in the mirror, do a checkpoint on yourself. Chances are you are one of the folks that we're talking about. Please look in the mirror. Please checkpoint yourself. This is a defining moment for our industry. And look at where you're at in the curve. Think about AI plus HI. Chances are you have been over-investing in AI and under-investing in HI. And do yourself a favor. This is not a joke. This is not some pair of old guys resisting change or anything. We understand. We are working on our HI plus AI. Josh is. We're putting our money where our mouth is, but so many people aren't. Don't follow the herd. Follow yourself and really develop yourself. Otherwise, I hate to say it this way, you're going to be screwed. Okay? So with that,
we're going to land that one.
with that, from beautiful downtown Cary, North Carolina,
and beautiful downtown Fuquay Arena, North Carolina,
I'm Bob Galen.
And I'm Josh Anderson.
Shake
and bake.
Take care, y'all.